Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And yes, troops, I did warn you you'd be seeing a lot of this guy in December. Do apologise about that, but there is simply so many games and so very little time. And we find ourselves going into this game and going into this preview 24 hours out from what is a massive European game. And that does leave us in a very unusual position that we've not really found ourselves in, at least in my aspect, and I'll ask yours in a minute or two, because if you look at it on paper, right, if you lay it all out right here on a board like you're Michael Schofield trying to plot to save his brother, it's got all the ingredients to be an obsessive 24 hours where we are buzzing, worried and dreading and being consumed by the fact that we have it in our own destiny to go against a tough side, the group favourites, the group leaders, and if we get a good result from that game, that could lead us in to the knockout stages of the Europa League. But with European qualification already secured, obviously a bad result means we will drop in to the Conference League. That should be on our mind. That should be what we've got, because if you start the group and if you leave it right to the very end and you have that in your own destiny, that is a delicious carrot to be a front of your eyes. But, and I might be wildly out of line here, all that is great and all that usually gets us going, but for me the only thing that I can really think about and what I am being utterly consumed by right now is what's coming at the weekend for a League Cup final. And I feel like I'm almost the exact opposite of what I've accused the Rangers players of being for many years. And they're normally lost in the European lights and overlooking domestic, but now I'm up this way and my full focus is on Sunday, and let's just hope the Rangers players haven't got that mindset as well, as we have a very tough game tomorrow. So follow us on this journey as we go ahead and discuss what is a massive game for this football club and could put us on a good foot going in to Sunday. And if you do find yourselves enjoying the channel or the video at any time, please consider hitting that like button. We are now 9 weeks strong in the 1,000 likes a video, which is absolutely ridiculous again for a channel my size. Can we reach 10? No many day reach 10 troops, so that would be sensational. But let's go ahead and get into it then, shall we? And have a look at Real Betis. It's been a little while since we saw them. Obviously, the last time we saw them, they came in heavy group favourites for that match. And it could be said that the only big match that Beale actually truly won was that game. Now, apologies for using the B word, but spoiler alert, you'll hear his name when we get to the Rangers end. Now, I'm not going to really break down how Betis plays. We've seen it now with our own eyes. We managed to overcome it at Ibrox. We were impressed at how they pinged that tiki-taka passing about beautifully. It is gorgeous on the eye, but it brings mixed results. How have they got on? How have they been playing since we last saw them? Well, it's got to be said, ladies and gentlemen, they are on the midst of a 12-match unbeaten run in terms of domestic football, in terms of league football, and they do find themselves 7th in the Spanish League, which does bring 2 talking points. One, the fact that they're on a 12-match unbeaten streak and they're sitting 7, tells you exactly what the Spanish League's all about. It's a no bad league to kick the old football around, and 2, there must be a couple draws during that run, and you'd be absolutely right on that aspect. I'm sure if they were winning all 12 games, it'd be drastically different, but they've got one common theme and one common Achilles heel from the start of the season to now, and it's featured right through the 12-match unbeaten run, and that's the fact that this team simply loves to draw games, as they've drew 7 of the last 12 domestic matches, which is actually quite incredible. And the next little fact won't surprise anyone, especially if you just heard what I said 10 seconds ago, but they are also tied for the most league draws in terms of their domestic football, which is ironic considering they share that honour with another team. Now, their most recent game of football was at their home stadium, the stadium that we will be going to tomorrow, and it was a 1-1 draw with a team called Real Madrid, whoever they are. But of course, a side can be inconsistent and pick up a lot of silly draws and throw away some silly points in domestic football, but be a very dangerous side in European football. Hell, look at us over the last couple seasons. How have they been getting on in terms of the European campaign? Well, as you can see on your screen, they obviously lead it with 9 points. We sit in 8th and Sparta sit in 7th, and Limassol actually sits in 4th. It's been an incredible group for the neutral, if you will. Sorry to use that old football saying, but what does it mean for this game tomorrow? Can they put the slippers up? Can they put out a B team? Nah. Quite clearly, it's all still up for grabs, and Real Betis are very vocal about wanting to win this game tomorrow to make sure that they're not facing the sides filtering in from the Champions League, which is obviously the big prize between first and second. You want to finish first so you didn't play the Champions League sides, and the second, the teams that finish second obviously have that difficult task of facing that quality. But it's not just Rangers or Betis, you've got Sparta Prague in there as well, and that's what adds a different layer to this game of football, because again, if we lose versus Betis and Sparta wins, that means they too go in to the Europa League in the latter stages, and we will fall into the Europa Conference League, which we've obviously never played in before, and it would be an interesting one to actually go and look at and go in to our journey. But I'm sure, again, with that carrot dangled in front of us, the thing we want to see is more European magic in terms of Europa League, as it usually brings out the best of us in that aspect. So it's setting up to be a very exciting day, troops. It's setting up to be a very exciting game, and Real Betis hasn't drawn a game yet in European football, and there could be a possibility that they finally get a draw, and that might be enough if Limassol can come out swinging versus Sparta, because they aren't exactly in a dead rubber as they need to come out and they need to win 4-0 if they want to qualify for the Conference League as they play Sparta in the last game. So it's all juggling, it's all a mess, it's all up for grabs. So it should be an exciting game in every aspect. It's one to keep an eye on. Where our game in Sparta Prague is going to determine exactly what European Cup competition we're playing in next season. And truthfully, that's all I've really got to say about Real Betis. Again, I'm not going to break down the nooks and the crannies. We've done that for the previous preview video. We've saw them with our own eyes. We have conquered them before. Now, can we lay a stake down and go over there and manage to conquer them in Spain? It would be an incredible result, a true incredible result, but it's going to be a tough task, as again, they've got full focus and they've been very vocal about wanting to win tomorrow to overcome what they felt was an unfair result at Ibrox. Well, it's time to go and earn it tomorrow, and both sides will be out there in boxing. And speaking of both sides, that means we can transition over to the Rangers then, as there is so much to actually talk about. And I think the mentality thing is something we need to talk about, because we mentioned it right at the start. Even myself, I eat, sleep and breathe this club. I know 99.9% of you who's tuning in to the video are the same. We normally get full in buzz, and I'm sure by kick-off I will be, but with what's coming on Sunday, there is that aspect of feeling this game and almost saying it's kind of a pointless distraction. I'd rather not have a game, so we've got a week. But then I remember what we're like when we get a week off, and remember how guff we usually end up being. I always feel like Rangers are a better side when they've got midweek games as they go from game to game. The mere week we've got to sit and read newspapers and read about how good we are and how well we're playing and everything like that, the worse we end up playing in the next one. So this game right here might not be the destination in terms of what we want this week with a W, but it's a very, very, very important step in that direction, in my opinion, because a good performance tomorrow against a very good side could get the confidence up and could get us feeling good about ourselves to go and conquer a familiar foe in Aberdeen. So the mentality aspect will obviously be undershined once again for this Rangers team, but there's also other things that now need to come into question, as we found out the extent of an injury in terms of Danilo, and unfortunately it is not an exciting or good update. We did touch on this in our last video, but it didn't feel like it'd be something that was going to be fixed very soon, and now we have found out that Danilo is expected to be out until at least April, troops. April! And it's just another slapdown and another reminder that we are truly injury FC. And I know the director of football, Big Cops, already came in and sacked one of the chief scouts, which was great, by the way, because if he was signing off on what we've signed over the last couple of years, he needed to be parted ways with. And I know there is going to be a restructuring there, and he is cleaning house with scouts, but it's just mental, troops. The injuries, the players we're signing, the injuries, it is frightening, and it continues to happen, and it leaves us in the busiest most important monthly fixtures in my personal opinion. December is where you make your bread and your butter. With so many big games and so many big moments, we are now missing yet another vital player. And I'm not even talking about Lawrence, who's who. Obviously, I'm talking about Danilo now, and that leaves us now in an uncomfortable position to be reliant for goals and Dessers and Lammers. And now, again, I still feel like there's Sahan and Dessers, and I really hope he takes his chance, because for me, when everyone, like when Danilo was fit and he wasn't coming off the bench, he would have known his time was up. He was getting moved in January. But sometimes when you hold someone and you back someone into a wall, they can come out swinging. And I can just hope and I pray as a Rangers fan, because of the games that we have in this month, not only tomorrow but the cup final versus Aberdeen, that Dessers comes out swinging and tries to fight for his Rangers career. It looked over when he was unsubbed on versus the likes of Aberdeen and everything like that in Lima. So when he didn't come on and get near the park, well, injuries have given him another chance to come out and fight it. And again, we need it as a football club. So let's send positive vibes and get behind the big laddie, because if we want to be a success this season for at least the next month, we're relying on the big man. Of course, Kamar Roof is there, but you know what you get with Roof. You get 15-20 minutes here, 15-20 minutes here. You get a start, you get a goal, you get excited, then you get the painful injury, and it's just been unfortunately following that laddie for a long time. You can't put your hopes and your dreams in a Kamar Roof, but we're needing to in a Dessers, and whether that feels comfortable to say, whether you hate that, that's where we are. Now, we can look to January and talk about Shanklin, Alfredo Morelos, this and this and this. It's great, but it's no helping us right now. These December fixtures are massive, and for me, this is the month for Dessers. He either makes it or breaks it, and if he breaks it, it's probably our season. Now, there is, of course, the conversation about Sima potentially playing central and playing with wingers either side, but Sima's scoring a lot of goals where he is. Do you really want to mess with that with the running in the space that he's getting? It's because he's running for wing. And again, Rabbi Matundo's had his injury problem. Scott Wright is still injured. You've got wee Ross there, but that's a lot of responsibility to put on the laddie to carry the load through here. So it is going to be a very interesting month, and tomorrow will tell us a lot, not only in terms of the selection because of what's coming in the cup final, but how they actually perform and who's given the nod to lead the line. And that's truly how I'm feeling. I feel like tomorrow is important to put out a good performance and build some confidence and build some belief. Again, the end result isn't the end all be all, like, you know what I mean? Sunday is where my focus is, but I would like to see a performance to put us on a good foot going into Sunday. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. And actually, I'm going to do something I don't do very often in terms of predictions right here in terms of the channel. I'm actually going to predict a score draw in this game. I'm not going to cheeky 2-1. I know you were all thinking it, but I just feel like there's a score draw, and I just hope that Limassol can do us a favour so we're playing in Europa League football going in to next season. It is going to be a tough task. Real Betis is playing well, especially at home, and they are again full focus on this game, but I feel like we can roll with the punches if we approach the game properly and we didn't have not only one eye but 2 eyes given on Aberdeen. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is your little update. That's your little oppositional preview. That is your little prediction, and obviously the latest Rangers team news. Everyone else remains the exact same. What about you? Let me know your thoughts, opinions down there in the comment section below. What you want to see from this game? What do you want to see from Rangers? And what's your prediction going in to tomorrow? And until tomorrow's game, until hopefully a very happy thumbnail, that would be sensational. I've been CJNova92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.